Hi, my name's Yvonne and I'm a UK Stamp Grip demonstrator, and what I'm going to show you today is something that I found in a hotel when I was on stage in Dortmund, and it's this box here. And what it is, it's actually a container for holding your makeup brushes, and it's just a cardboard box. It's a glossy cardboard box and it's got little dividers in there. So what I thought I'd show you today is actually how to make this particular box, as you can see. So the papers I'm going to be using to decorate this box are from the Lily Impressions Designer Series paper, which you can receive free when you spend over £45 in our current catalogues. So this is the paper that I'm going to be using. Now, when you get your paper, it's in 12 by 12 sheets. I just had a sample of this, so I only had some 6 by 6 size sheets, but it's worked out really well for decorating this particular box. So this is what I'm going to be using. So the measurements are 12-inch across and 5 3/4 that way. This particular card stock I'm using is Blushing Bride, and the first score is on the 5 3/4 inch side, and you're going to score at 3 3/4. So that's the first score. Now I'm using my stamping trimmer because I really like it for the scoring, especially when you've got various measurements. So on the 12-inch side, you're going to score at 2 3/4. Then it's going to be 5 1/2. And please don't do what I did and use your cutting blade instead of your scoring blade, because then you end up cutting your paper stock in half and you have to start all over again. My next score is at 8 1/4. And the final score is at 11. Now, if you do happen to be using A4 cardstock, don't worry, this box will work for using your A4 as long as you've got the full length of the A4, but as I say, you can use it by 12 by 12. It just means we've got a bit more of a tab at this side. So I'm just going to fold my score lines, and then I'll show you exactly how it's going to be cut. So there you are, 2 3/4, 5 1/2, 8 1/4 and 11 inches. And then the score line coming down here is 3 3/4. So we're going to cut up all the score marks on the up to the 3 3/4 line, and I'll do that now with my trusty scissors wherever I've put them. They're there. So as I'm going through, I'm going to be cutting out the little wedges as well. This one we're going to chop in half. So I'm going up this one and to do the wedges. And I'm going to leave that one whole. This one again, we've got the wedges. doesn't matter about the angle of the wedge as long as you just put a wedge in there. It's just so it'll fold that better, that's all. And then we're going to chop that there. And that one we chop in half. Again, we've got a wedge. Now this bit here we can cut away. We just want to wedge that on that side as well. And we can just wedge that there. So that's what your box shape will look like. I'll put all the dimensions on my blog, and there'll be a link down below for the particular post. So I'm just going to fold, just make sure all those are nicely creased. And then we can put the box together. Just move my bits and pieces off here. So this particular box you can use for your crafting, or you can use to hold your makeup brushes, your mascaras, or whatever you want really. It's just a nice little storage box. Right. So, yeah. So how I'm going to fold this is I'm going to fold the smaller tabs in first and then the larger one on top. So we'll just put some glue on this side here. Use my Tombow. Come on. Goes there, and that goes there. Make sure that's straight. Oops. Put that one in there. And just glue on here. You can use tear and tape if you want, but I'm just using glue for quickness on this one. And then the final tab I can glue down. Now if you want to, you can put a piece of card in there just to strengthen the bottom. It's entirely up to you. So that's the first part of the box. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my paper on there, and these mats are 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, so just a 1/4 inch smaller on either side. So I'm going to position those there. That's that one. If you wish to, you can use a the Whisper Wipe thick cardstock to do this particular box, but so far I'm finding that using a normal cardstock, especially a coloured one, it seems to be okay. Seems sturdy enough. Yeah. All the flowers are the right way around. I was a bit worried that I'd put them on upside down, but I haven't, so that's good. So yeah, the colour cardstock I'm using is Blushing Bride, and I think it looks really pretty with this particular Lily Impressions paper on this design. Right, so that's that part done. Now the second part is the lid. Now the paper for this, or the card for this lid, is 9 and where is it? I'll put it down somewhere. I had my instructions and I put it down somewhere and I can't find them. Which is about right for me. I found them. So we've got 9 3/8 lengthways, and widthways it's 4 7/8. And I'll just show you the template of how this is going to go. There's a lot of lines in there, but it's easy enough once you start scoring. So our first score mark is 1 inch on the 4 7/8 side. So that's easy enough, just 1 inch on there. Now the next score marks are going to be 1 1/4, 2 1/4, and 3 1/4. I'm going to turn my card around and do exactly the same again. So I've got 1 1/4, 2 1/4, and 3 1/4. Now you might not be able to see, sorry about that, you might not be able to see my score marks, but what I'll do is we've done score marks 1 1/4, 2 1/4, 3 1/4, and turned it round and done 1 1/4, 2 1/4, and 3 1/4. Now what you need to do is you're removing the first 2 squares of each corner. So I'll just do that now. And then you can see what it looks like. So you're cutting up to the second score line. And then we'll come back and do the rest of the cuts. It's not too complicated. What you're sort of making is a reinforced box lid. Right, so that's your first part. So you've taken off those areas there. Now the second part is you need to cut up to the 3rd score line just there. On each side. And then just need to fold those in. Not quite cut right up to that line. I've gone past it. Oops. And there we go. And then we just need to wedge each of those internal cuts. And then it's just a matter of folding your score lines. So how this is going to work is fold the third score line inwards, then the next one you fold inwards, and the next one outwards. So we've done the inward on that one, inward on that, and outward on that. So you get this sort of a shape. And then what you do is you pop those in there, and they should, oops, they will fold in. And that is your reinforced box. Now if you want to, you can put a piece of card in there, or you can stick it down. I've not stuck it down at the moment because I just want to make sure everything's folding nicely. And that is the box lid. So just try it. There we go. So I'm doing it, I'm just putting it inside, and that will keep it all together. Now the final part is to put the divider in, and let me grab a piece. Right. So the measurement is the diagonal measurement from there to there. So it's saying it's 3 3/4. So I'll cut a piece of cardstock at 3 3/4. That fits okay in there, and again 3 3/4. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a template that I did, and I'm just cutting up about halfway. I'm just going to cut that a little bit out. So what this does is to give you the slots that it'll go in. Now depending on the size of your box and how you've measured, they just go in like that. Now I have found, even though I measured it and I tried it, there we go. So they're your dividers. So you can put scissors in there. So it's not too top heavy. You can put your glue in there, pens in there. So it's just a nice little desk divider for your crafting, or if you want it for anything else, then you can use it for that. And the lid does go on as well. So you could, if you wanted to, use this box and give it as a gift, and then you can put things inside, chocolates, sweets, whatever, for the person who you're giving it to. I hope you enjoyed this little project that I've designed. As I say, it was all inspired by this box that I got at the hotel, and the bottom of this box has got lots of bends in it, so you could actually fold it down, but it's much easier just sticking it on the bottom. But inspiration comes from everywhere, especially when you're crafting, so always look at boxes that you see and see whether you can deconstruct them and have a play about with them, like I've done with this one. If you require a catalogue, either the new mini spring summer catalogue or our annual catalogue, then please let me know, and I will be happy to pop one in the post to you. I will put my email address down below, so you'll be able to drop me an email and I'll be able to send one out. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye bye.